Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Shepherd Farms. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about the basic equipment that you need for starting your own apiary. Starting your own beehives, your house, somebody else's house. So to start it off, let's talk about the main piece of equipment, probably some of the most important besides the hive itself, is your safety equipment. Now, a lot of people on YouTube, you'll see them without equipment, going out, no veil, no suit, no gloves. I'm not at that level. Besides, I have a slight allergic reactions when I get stung. So the more the merrier for me. You can get these in different setups. My personal setup is just this canopy type deal across the front. You can get them with the round hat and a veil that drapes down. These also come in a vented version, which is amazing to have during the hot summer months. I don't have one personally, but that's on the list for this year. You'll also want a good pair of gloves. Some goat skin gloves are amazing. These you really want to invest in some good quality gloves, preferably some that come up to your elbow like these. They'll come all the way up. You'll see in the videos. There's stingers in this, obviously, but gloves and a suit. It's number one. The next thing is going to be your Hive Tools. They make several different kinds. This is your basic Hive Tool. A Hive Tool's purpose is basically just to get in there, separate your brood boxes, separate out your frames, and to help you retrieve the frame from the box itself. Now, I personally do not like the regular Hive Tool. This is a J tool. This one's necessity to me. I prefer it over the regular Hive Tool because of this J hook at the end, which I'll show you in another video how to use it. But basically it helps you pry up the edges of your frames so that you can get a good hold of them and pull them out. The end of this is tapered to a good sharp edge. It's not sharp, but it gets the job done. It'll get in there and it'll bust it loose for you. Once I'm in the hive though, this is my go-to. I don't know what this thing is even called. I call it my golden claw. So it's got a wedge on the front. It does an okay job of separating out like frames, but it does not do such a great job when you're trying to separate two brood boxes that don't have a queen excluder or something between them. It's just the tip is thicker. You really want to go for something that's got a flatter, more sharp edge on it to get into the hives. But the whole main point behind this guy is when you get in there and you're working by yourself, you know, you don't have your cameraman here like today. You pop your frames loose and you go to pull them out. This lets you do everything one-handed. I can get this in there, grab a hold of a frame, pull it out, and I can work that frame with one hand. I don't have to have both hands on it. Sometimes you'll have to have your other hand for doing something else, and if you're sitting there with a frame of bees, this one's wanting to come say hey to me now. You're sitting there with a frame of bees, you don't want to set it down. You don't want to get stuff on it and put it back in your hive, or maybe the queen's on there and she runs off if you set it down. This is just an exceptional tool. So props to the person that invented this, but that's my go-to. Some of the other equipment that you're going to need, just basics. You're going to need a good brush, a bee brush. Invest in one of these, especially if you're getting your honey. This will brush bees off and it will not hurt the bee. Be gentle, don't go in there all crazy trying to get the bees off of your frames, just gently brush them off, shake them off, and you're good to go. Some of the last bit of equipment before we talk about the hives themselves would be these little queen catchers. So I've got two types, but this one type I've got two varieties. This is a name brand one. This will cost you a few bucks. This is used to mark your queen. This is a no brand queen catcher. I believe I got two of these for like $6. Don't quote me on it, but it was really cheap. They might have been $6 a piece, but still, this one I believe it ran me up to 30 bucks. Basically, all you do is got this trap on the back, pull this back, and it opens this chamber up. You've got a push cylinder in here that's cushioned. What you do, you pull that back, you'll get your queen on the frame and carefully place this over her and then slide that gate forward. Not to crush her or decapitate her or cut off legs, but this is used for marking your queen. You'll then push this little plunger up until her back is between one of these slots. And then of course you take a paint pen. This is the type I use. I bought a whole box instead of individuals because it is a lot cheaper. But anyway, these function exactly the same. They pretty much look exactly the same. This one's had more wear and tear, this one's new, but we're going to test this bad boy out this year. So the other piece of equipment in the queen catchers I use is these little clips. It's like a chip bag clip, but it's not. It's specifically designed for beekeeping. You'll find her on the frame and just clip around her, and she'll crawl in this cage. Keep her in here, she'll be safe. You can set it off to the side, do whatever you got to in the hive, and you don't have to worry about hurting the queen, damaging her, or killing her. Going back to these paint pens, you'll need, if you decide to mark your queens, which I highly suggest that you do, especially if you're running double brood boxes, you'll start looking at bees and all you'll see is bees. You won't see that queen. She's hard to find. If she's got a dot on her back, a lot easier to find. You're going to have blue, white, yellow, red, and green. That's your 5 basic colors. The set of course comes with more than 5, but if you go to buy these pens individual, I believe they run $8 a piece now. I've had these ever since I started. I think I paid like 15 bucks for the entire set. So go check those out. And the last thing for the video today, we're going to talk about the actual beehive itself. Alright, so here we have just a basic hive. This is a 10 frame. We're going to go over each individual part so that when you go out to buy your hive, you know what you're getting into. Alright, so we'll start off first. We have a bottom board. This is basically just the foundation for the hive. They come with ramps, they come without ramps. There's screened boards, there's solid boards. It's all about preference. I prefer a screened bottom board, but you don't have to have it. They do cost more money, but like I said, you don't have to have it. Moving up the box, your first actual box is going to be a brood box. It's called a deep. So this will hold all your frames that your queen's going to lay eggs in. That's your foundation for your hive. You have got to have a good colony if you want honey. So they need to fill this up. I would suggest if you do buy an entire hive, do not put the honey super on it until the base is full. You can have 1 or 2 frames in a 10 frame that aren't really drawn out, but I would suggest this being as full as possible before you add more room, because a bee's natural instinct is they're going to move up. After you have the brood box, you've got your honey supers. Of course, between this will be what they call a queen excluder. You can get wood or metal or plastic. Basically, it's just a screen that goes in between. I don't think I've got one on this one. I do not. So it's a screen that will go between these two. It keeps the queen from going up the hive and laying eggs where you have honey that you want. So moving on from that, you're going to have a top cover, and it's got an escape up here, and then you have your actual cover. I see a lot of these. You can get copper ones, tin ones. I've seen painted ones like our nukes and our mating nukes. But again, it's just a preference. How much money do you want to spend? You can get expensive. You can get the A-pitch wooden roofs. They'll run you probably $80. All right, so that was the main structure of the hive. Inside, basically, you have your frames. These are deeps. These are mediums. You can see the size difference. People ask, well, can you run a deep as a honey super? So the answer to that is yes, you can, but I wouldn't. If you pick up one of these full of honey, you're far stronger than I am. They just get heavy. The mediums are heavy enough. They also make a shallow, which I don't see the point in doing a shallow personally, but that option is out there if you decide that's the route you want to go. If you need something a lot lighter, then by all means go that route. But this is basically the setup of all hives. The last thing, of course, is an entrance reducer. These are pretty important when your hive is not big. If you're just starting it out, just moved it over, you want to close off the entrance except for a little bitty gap, because your bees have to guard this entire box. If you don't got a lot of bees, the smaller the entrance, the better the bees can guard it. So they do rotate out. You can get different sizes as you rotate it. This is a beehive that we have that's going to have bees this year. One of the ones that we lost earlier or late last year, but we've had it closed off, setting up here at the apiary, ready to go. If y'all got any questions, please shoot them our way. I'm not an expert, I'm not a professional, but I've been doing the hobby for a little bit, and I got a good grasp of what's going on. Be happy to help anybody that's new to the hobby. Like us on Facebook. We're Shepherd Farms Honey. Go find us. We run deals sometimes. We're not a big operation. When we get honey, we'll sell it, but we do quails, mealworms, quail eggs. Just come find us. And as always, good things start from humble beginnings. I appreciate everybody. Hit that subscribe button. Have a great day.